Hi trader, it's Tina from ShortMeTina.com. As you know, our number one goal here is to build a powerhouse of successful traders, all the while helping you find more winners. If you're new here, drop a comment, say hello. If you're returning, drop a comment, say hello. So far, have you learned anything from us? If so, let us know. If you have any questions, let us know. So we're going to kick it off as usual with our typical overall market recap. We're going to start off with the S&P 500, the SPY. So right now what you're looking at is a daily chart dating back to 2017. If you're a recurring viewer, you already know what I'm about to say. If you're new, this might be new to you. So we're sitting here at 280.42. Up a little bit on the day. So for the past 5 days, we've kind of hung around this resistance level here, right? So the thing is, we need to find out, okay, what will the markets do next, right? Are we going to roll over like we did back in October, like we did in November, like we did in the ending part of November, the beginning of December, when we reached this level? You can see it here. Back in October, when we got to this 280 level, we pulled back, we bounced. November, we couldn't penetrate, we pulled back, we bounced. December, couldn't do it, we had this massive decline here, and then we've had this subsequent rally, and so we're up about, what is it, 15-20% from the December lows. So again, we're sitting here at 280. Now, will history repeat itself like it did here, here, here? We can say here, here, and here, right? Dating back for over a year. Or will we overshoot and sustain the breakout like we did here? Not just breakout, but actually sustain it. And that's kind of what I'm going to be paying attention to going into next week. Is it going to pull back, or will we overshoot and sustain that move? All right. So that, once again, is what I'm paying attention to for the SPY. What else do we have? The IWM showing a very similar story to the SPY. It's hitting resistance here. We can call that level 158 to 160. It's basically hung. So it's basically been around. The tenses kind of trick me up from time to time. So we've actually hung around. Yeah, I think hung makes sense. We've kind of hung around this resistance level. You can say since mid-February. We tried to penetrate a few times, couldn't do it. Pulled back, not massively, pulled back slightly. Closed at 158.24, up slightly on the day. Going into next week, we just kicked off a new month, right? Today's March 1st. February's behind us. January's behind us. What's going to happen in March, right? Will we pull back like we did back in November, like we did back in March of 2018, like we did back in January of 2018? Or will we sustain this breakout like we did from May of 2018 until October of 2018, right? I have my feelings on what will occur, but let's let the market dictate to us what it wants to do. So going into, again, the remainder of the month, that's all I'm paying attention to. This level here, if it breaks above that and that break is sustained, that's a very bullish signal for the markets, all right? So let's pay attention to that. What else do we have? Ticker NIO up about 5% on the day, closed at 10.06. So since breaking out, it's kind of hung out around here for the past, we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trading days. Not a chaser. I really want to get into this trade, but I don't want it at $10. I want it to pull back some, and that's essentially what I'm waiting on. So I've been monitoring the stock just about every day to see if it's going to pull back or if it has pulled back to the level that I want to get in. It hasn't happened as of yet. I'm not giving up on the trade. I like ticker NIO. I think it's one of those stocks that can outshine, I want to say 2019, but it could very well be 2020. So put ticker NIO on your watch list. I don't think it's done yet with its move. What else do we have? And then we have ticker WTW, Weight Watchers daily chart. Stock that's been in a perpetual decline since June of 2018. So it's lost a great deal of shareholder value since topping out around 105 back in June of 2018. Sitting here at $21.94, we're up about 8% on the day. I believe yesterday we were up about 9%, which makes sense because you had this huge 20% or 30% gap down just a few days ago. And generally speaking, when you have such a large gap down, when a stock sheds 20, 30, 40% in one day, you're gonna have like that overshoot, right? You're gonna have people, you know, either covering their shorts or rushing in to buy because it was such a massive move, which in turn is gonna drive the prices of the security up. That happened in the case with WTW, but I wouldn't be so sold here to jump in, right? Especially being that it's moved so much in the last 2 days, because generally speaking, when a stock has experienced such a decline, it takes a while for it to kind of reverse trend or reverse course. And I can't imagine it reversing course all of a sudden in 2 days after it, you know, just again shed about 20 to 30% in one day, not even counting the damage that has been done since June of 2018. So I'm not saying that WTW is not a long, I'm saying it's not a long right now, and for me it will not be a long for a couple of weeks, maybe even months, but I'm putting it on my watch list because again, in my opinion, it's a good trade to be had once the dust has settled with the stock. What else do we have? JD, we have JD daily chart. It's up about 3% on the day, close at 28.73. The stock is acting beautifully in my opinion, right? Since you know, we had this decline dating back to June. Again, so you know what, I was going to show you the difference, but I'll do that in another video. I don't want to take up too much time, but the recovery happened, and so this upward movement here makes tons of sense. So again, I like the stock, I like the chart. Full disclosure, this was actually a trade that we took on the long side. You know, this stock has actually been on my free watch list for, I want to say 2 to 3 months. I was telling everyone at 20, at 21, I believe that's around where we got in. So when the stock got to around 24, 25, you know, I released it to just the general public and I said, this is a good trade in my opinion. There's huge upside based on the chart. Sitting here at 28.73, we went as high as close to $30 today. I definitely see this touching 35. So put JD on your watch list if you're not in. I'm not saying to jump. I am not a chaser. I hate chasing. But I think that this stock still has a good, in the short term, 5 to 7 points more to go, but I still think we can potentially retest our most recent highs of 50. 100%, I believe that. What else do we have? And we have Fitbit, another stock that gapped down, and I think it was off after reported earnings. It was off about 10 or 15%, somewhere around there. Not nearly the amount of damage that we saw with Weight Watchers. And after the stock gapped down, I did a video after earnings and I said, as long as the stock, despite it looking horribly, as long as it can stay within that $5 range, it is a long in my opinion. And here we are up about 3% on the day, closed at 614, the high is 623. Fit, there's a nice gap to be filled here, and that's what I'm paying attention to, this 2016 gap of around 12. It's going to get there, and I think it's gearing up. I like Fit. Not in it as of yet, monitoring as we speak. So monitor along with me. Put Fit on your watch list. What else do we have? And we have Square, daily chart. Another stock that I did an analysis on, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 days ago. Another stock that reported earnings, and the last 2 days, the stock actually was up. You know, I wouldn't say tremendously, but it was up decently. I want to say maybe anywhere from 5 to 10%. And I was still saying that the stock, in my opinion, was a short. It took about 2 days to unfold. We're off about 5% on the day, closed at 77.46. The low of the day, the low is 76.69. I expect that low to be tested next week. I believe that the low will be broken. So I see this stock at some point trading around the 60s. Maybe at that point around there might be a decent point to go long, but I still see a bit more pullback left for Square. What else do we have? So we have ticker APRN. This is a daily chart. Closed at 108. So so the last few days have been marked with nothing but selling. So for April, the stock is technically broken. For things to get going, it definitely needs to get above this fuchsia line. We can call that around 150 to 165. Let's give it that range. So for things, for the chart or the stock to get back into tradable territory, in my opinion, at least on the long side, it needs to get back within its channel. So it needs to trade above this fuchsia line, and we're not there yet. So I wouldn't touch it on the long side. What else do we have? And then we have NVCN daily chart, off about 5% on the day. Like I said yesterday, it's just not a good quality stock. If you're in it, that's up to you. Sometimes it's wise to follow your own inclinations, really. Sometimes it is better to do that. So if you have your bull thesis and you think that this is an undervalued stock, then hold on to your long for sure. But again, off about 5%. So I'll say this, granted we're sitting on support. The longer it hangs on to support, the longer it hangs out in this area, the likelihood of it breaking increases. So if you're long, you definitely don't want it hanging around here anymore. You want it to kind of drift more towards this other fuchsia line here, which is resistance, shorter term resistance of, we can call that about $1. So you want NVCN to kind of start drifting away, get closer to here versus staying around here. Because again, I'll repeat it one more time, the longer it hangs out here, if it continues to retest support, for me, I usually see that as kind of like, like when you hammer away at something and you kind of weaken it. So if you take a sledgehammer and you're trying to, I don't know, I've never done this before, but like say you're trying to break a wall, you hit it one time, it doesn't break, but it softens it. You hit it again, it doesn't break, it softens it. You hit it a third time and fourth time, and if you repeatedly hit it, eventually you're going to break it. So that's how I see stocks, which is interesting, once it hits support so much. So for me, it's like the longer it stays here, it's retesting it. It's becoming weaker and weaker, and eventually it's going to cave and collapse. So you don't want it to hang around that area. All right, so that's all I have to say about NVCN. What else do we have? And then we have GPS. I did a video on this yesterday. So I'm still bullish on it. It was actually a trade that we took in the premium member community. I'm personally not in it, and I'm not even sure if anyone is still in this particular stock. But when we got into it, it was around 25. We got that initial pop. We took some shares off, or some profits off. Yesterday and today rather, went as high as 31.39. So it's a huge move from our entry level. But sitting here at 29.51, looking at the candle, I'm expecting more downside. But another long opportunity is actually presenting itself. But again, if you realize what the theme is with the stocks that I'm either in or waiting on, it is just that. It's a wait game, right? You see a stock, you like it. The key is to just get in at that sweet spot, in my opinion. At least that's how I trade. So for GPS, I'm expecting further downside. Like to trade on the long side, but just not at these levels. What else do we have? And then we have Walmart, off a little on the day, about 1%, closed at 97.93. I still like it as a trade on the long side, believe it or not. So just give it some time. I think it's not going to be the easiest stock to hold. Full disclosure, another trade that we actually took in the premium member community, and we did well with this trade. So it's not an easy hold, but I think one that will pan out going forward. So off a little on the day, but I still like the stock. What else do we have? And let's round it out with ticker CRON. Daily chart dating back to March of 2018. Full disclosure, we did get into this trade when it was trading at around 5. Saw it shoot up to 15, pull back to around 6. Still liked it here, even though it had this massive decline. And now we sit here at 21.71, most recently going as high as 25.10. So like this says here, we're holding short-term support. We can call that level around $18.50. As long as it can stay above that, it seems as though it's gearing up to retest its most recent high of 25. And if it can do that, I think the stock can be potentially a real runner. Hence why my motto is be very patient with your winners. They're going to make up for the trades that you don't do so well on. People have a tendency of doing the opposite, right? They'll get into a winning trade, and the first sign of profits, they want to grab it, right? They want to grab it. Had we have done that with ticker CRON, right? Once it doubled, did we make money? Obviously we did. From 5 to 10, that's a 100% move. But holding on would have gotten us so much more than that. It would have gotten us over 300%, right? And it's not to say we had to wait 5-10 years for that to materialize. Cron was trading at 5 back in August. It's not even a year in, right? That's about 6 or 7 months. 6 or 7 months to see about 300-400% in returns. That's a good bargain. That's a good return in my opinion. All right. So lesson with Cron. It's really, really good to be very patient with your winners. If you're seeing a trade that's giving you a profit, and I'm not talking about like crazy penny stocks now, like decent companies, they're showing you a profit, hold on to them. Chances are they're going to give you bigger profits. And if there's a trade that's not going so well, there's a chance that it'll continue to not go so well for you. So that's that. Let's cap it there. Tina, once again, from shortmetina.com. You know, once again, what do we do here? Do you remember, right? Do you remember what is our #1 goal? To build a powerhouse of successful traders, all the while helping you find more winners. I just wanted to put that in there. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to hear more of it, I want you to do 3 things for me. 1, comment in the comments section. Let me know if you're in any of the stocks that I've mentioned. And if you are, if you've made money, if you've lost money, etc. If there's something about my video that you don't understand, or if you just want to say hi because you're a new member and you're a new trader, say hi. I'll say hi back. So that's the first thing, comment. Second thing is subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to a small goal, right? You know, we're not like at 40,000 or 50,000 followers. We're relatively new and we want to grow our channel organically. We're not trying to buy followers. So it would mean the world to us if you subscribe, not just for the sake of subscribing. We do videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you get something out of it as well. Like I analyze stocks like I did today every single day, and I've been consistent, I want to say, for the past year, and I'm going to continue doing it because I like analyzing stocks. It keeps me sharp. It just keeps my eyes tuned to pick up on cues. That's why I do it as well, in addition to helping you folks, in addition to helping you, And the last thing that I want you guys to do, if you want more value and if you want more things like what I'm talking about in this video, if you want to learn more about the stock market, I've been doing this for about over 15 years. You can head on over to our channel. Well, we already did that. You're already on our channel, right? So last thing, it's Friday. Pardon, please forgive me. Last thing is to head on over to shortmetina.com, which is our website. Sign up. Give me a really good email address. Become a member. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for the support. TGIF, guys. Talk to you soon.
Take a bow, the night is over. This masquerade is getting older. Lights are low, the curtains down.